It is that time. Welcome to Mahala Monday. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. It is absolutely wonderful to have you along with us. My name is Dugald, and it is a privilege to be with you, but I am not alone because this is the only person that can smell color and taste sound.
Is that so?
This is some of your abilities, I'm just mentioning. Not all of them, but at least one or two. Rhoda is here. Hello, Rhoda.
Hello, Dougal. Welcome, Dougal. Thank you
Welcome.
for the intro as usual. You're always going over the top. But yeah, welcome. I'm happy to be here. And we never walk alone. So we're together.
Well. Yeah, that's definitely a topic for another day.
Another day.
But yeah, brilliant to have you here as always, Rhoda, because we're actually looking forward to tonight's
yeah.
show. This is going to be fantastic because we're really bringing a very, very serious topic onto the fore. This is what it's all about. But before we go any further, do us the big pleasure, the big favor, the huge honor. Definitely subscribe. Please do that right now. Subscribe, like the show, share it, and of course tell everybody about it. And remember, this is an interactive show, so we're really looking forward to your comments and questions. As they come through, of course, we'll pose these to our special guest that is joining us. And the one the guest can't answer, sound and lights over here will answer.
That's me.
I'm not answering anything. Just to be very clear, I'm not answering anything.
Dougal, don't worry.
But to kind of give you the bed, because
Yes.
the month of October, month 10, I like it because it's the first time there's double digits in the year, so that's why I like it.
It's also good.
But also, it is an important month, not the part that it's got 31 days, but probably for this specific topic, it should have had 50 plus days. It is also a mental health awareness month.
That's right.
This is what October is all about. Now, with that being said, on the 10th of October, it is World Mental Health Day. And this is sort of the cornerstone or the bedrock from which our topic springs this evening. This will be the springboard we come in. How important is, are we more aware in 2025? Because let's go back. I can remember in 2018, I never heard the term mental health together.
No, definitely not.
And I don't want to say it's a post-COVID thing, but I would have heard it, but it was never so in the person's conversation as it would be.
Never.
Now it really is mental health. This is something everybody talks about. Children talk about it at school.
Oh, yeah.
Grown-ups talk about it. When depression or any sort of thing aligned with mental health come to the fore, we are much, much more aware of this now as a society, and which is fantastic. But as we all know, when something goes awry, we never see the signs. We never do. So whatever we're doing, we need to up our game. We need to do more, and this is definitely something that needs to come. But now, with that being said, that is definitely the base for our conversation this evening.
That's our base for our conversation, definitely, Dougal. And as you said, as a topic, it was never discussed with our parents. It was something that was always hush, hush, quiet, quiet. Oh, don't keep yourself crazy. Don't just get, here take a panado. It was never something that was discussed because mental health, it was never recognized back in the day. And today it is vital because it affects any man. There's a lot of people in your family that actually is affected by this.
Yeah.
So we need to be aware of it. We need to look at the signs and this is why we've got an expert here today as well, because there's a lot of challenges people face. And if I really look back at the time, and I don't want to give my age away, but
Give it away. People want to know that. They ask me all the time.
So if I look back at that time, it was really like a taboo, like, no, we don't discuss it. We don't talk about your health. We don't talk about your mental health as a whole. So it was a hush-hush, and people went through so much trauma that they couldn't talk about it. We're more exposed today.
The one phrase I must say that, and I want to call it like a sort of a post-COVID phrase that I constantly hear, that people actually say now, you know what? I'm going to do this because of my mental health. So there is an awareness, because I actually hear a lot of people saying that, especially in my circle. I hear that quite a bit. And I know the on-air comments are flying in, so thank you very much for that. We're going to do that. Now, before we touch on the on-air comments, and then we're going to introduce our guest, which we will do it in that order. So imagine now, World Mental Health Day, just a couple of days away from the 10th. Another important focus area for us this evening is when it comes to queer health. Now, not Rhoda, not myself are going to answer anything in relation to mental health. Also, when it comes to having accessible and sort of wonderful healthcare especially with the queer community, that is also what we're going to talk about. And we've got a wonderful, absolutely fantastic guest who will really, really take us through everything and really give us a wonderful platform to work for. And hopefully you will find huge amount of inspiration from that as well. Before we introduce our guest, so we do that on-air comment?
Let's do the on-air comment. Maybe somebody wanting
Hope
to
it's a
say it to
question
you,
for you.
Dugald. I think it's for
Hope
you.
it's a question for you. No, let's move on.
Not, okay.
Let's do it. Anyway, so joining us this evening as we kick off the month of October is a fantastic guest, of course. Really somebody that has been practicing within the Cape Town area for some time and has a huge reputation as really somebody for the community. And without further ado, a specialist in the field, a wonderful, wonderful human, firstly,
Yes.
and then, of course, par excellence, especially very knowledgeable on the topic. We are not just welcoming anybody, but the wonderful Dr. Ray Meas is with us. Dr. Ray, hello.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for being here with us in the studio. Firstly, thanks for being here.
Yes,
It's a
thank
pleasure.
you. Oh,
really,
my
truly,
word.
thank you.
There's so much to talk about tonight.
Yes,
There is quite a bit, but just the 10th of October, that is World Mental Health Day.
Yes.
And that is the day that it's coming. And of course, this is the awareness month that we're talking about it. And I want to also highlight, we're all wearing this gold ribbons, the chalk ribbons, because of Cancer Awareness Month, especially
that's right.
with the young people, with the children. We're all wearing. But before we go any further, please, for our audience members, tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Yes,
Where's your
sure.
practice? Where do you come from? Who's Ray
is
Meas?
Ray,
Thank you
Dr.
so much
Ray?
for this opportunity. Yes, so I'm a medical practitioner. So I'm a GP on the Cape Flats. I work in Strandfontein. Yes. So I was born in Hanover Park, also on the Cape Flats. I then did my studies at Stellenbosch University at the Tygerberg campus. And then I went to Johannesburg to do my internship, where I worked there for 2 years. Moved all the way to the Northwest Province to Mafeking to do my community service, and then back to the Cape Flats, because that's where I feel like I can do the most work for my calling.
All right, and here you are. So, and your practice is in Strandfontein. How long have you had the practice there?
So the practice is set up now for a full year and a bit. I've been so blessed by it, though. The community has seen me, and I've been working in the community for a bit. Moved down in about 2019. So coming into the community, working with families, especially through COVID, because it was such a scary time. People didn't know, what to do. And I'm sitting as a doctor in the practice, and they're coming, doctor, did you hear about this COVID thing? And can we take ivermectin? And all these kind of questions that you're getting, and we didn't know what to do. So learning to care for the community and say, well, I'm going to stand here with you in this uncertainty, until the government then started rolling out programs so that we could educate ourselves of the different variants and what you should do and what you shouldn't do, social distancing, which I still think we should do today, by the way, mask wearing when you're sick, going out in public. So those kind of things, once we got that information, I could then walk a road with the community. And since then I decided, Strandfontein is where I need to be. And I think, as I said earlier, I've been blessed by the community really to be a queer person, to be a queer doctor, sitting in the community where we don't really hear a lot of it, we don't have a lot of visibility for people like me. So the fact that I can stand there and they can put my rainbow flag on my counter and people can come in and say, oh wow, I feel seen here. I don't have to have my guard up, I can sit here and actually have a conversation with a medical professional who has my best interest at heart. And that's what I'm here to do.
Wow.
No, it is fantastic. And there's a little more information there, of course, because off air you told us that you practice in many ways. Obviously, house visits using for a GP, but you also do this online thing.
Yes.
Quickly, just touch on that, because I found that fascinating.
I'd like to say another gift of COVID. I think having access to healthcare is such a big thing in South Africa. It's enshrined in our constitution. So having access to a healthcare through COVID, people that can't go to the doctor, you have your elderly mother or father or auntie or uncle who can't go and sit in the GP practice because what if they catch COVID? So since that, we've sort of moved into allowing people to, and legally allowing people to access medical care. So if you're sitting in Vereniging or Daar or Umhlanga and you want to see me specifically, you can jump online and we can have a conversation and a consultation. There are limitations. I can't assess a broken ankle online. Please do not come to me with injuries. It's only things that, that I can assess from a history and taking a good history, and then also providing healthcare and making sure that you can get to a doctor in Umklanga, you can get to a doctor in Da'ar, and I can communicate with them to say, please assess this patient. They've checked in with me. So it's been really amazing to find out what that side of healthcare looks like. It's been really enriching.
And also having a virtual consultation, if it were. Obviously, it's something that is unexplored. I myself have never experienced one, so I've never had that.
Usually a lot of patients are like, is this real? Because you want me to pay my money before I have a consultation. So is this like, you're going to run away with the money that I'm charging? But the nice thing about it is I'm also able to offer cheaper rates so that patients who are lower income and don't have access to a lot of money, disposable income, they can have a conversation with me online and say, check this thing out. I'm feeling these symptoms. I'm not sure what to do about it. Can you just give me some advice? And then I can connect them to a state facility or another private GP where they can do a consultation in person if they can't come to where I am, which is in Strandfontein.
Oh, wow. And then we were chatting obviously as well, besides obviously them coming through to your practice, you on the line, you do visits as well?
Yes, so I do home visits as well. A lot of our elderly patients who are bedridden, a lot of people with disabilities who cannot come out, cannot get into a taxi, get to the practice, or even a lot of patients who I have who are obese and overweight and have struggled with that mentally and physically to the point where they can't actually leave their house. The fact that I can have my medical kit and come over and decide, is this something that can be treated in your home, or do we need to make a plan to get you somewhere? So having that access is just something that a lot of people have been blessed by, and I think to have that opportunity to have a doctor to come to your house in your space and to be able to give you care and really care for you, not just say, here's tablets, go and get healthy. Actually have a sit down, when last did you have a full meal? When last did you get outside of this house? Those kind of questions, you can actually have a conversation when you're sitting by someone's bedside in their own home.
I think we need to change your name to Dr. Sunray.
I'm a ray of sunshine, I always say it.
Exactly.
So with us, of course, Dr. Meas, if you have a question, definitely pop it along here. You've heard virtual consultations. This is not really where you're going to show your thing here, but who knows? Who knows? Somebody might, you know what, you might just pop it through. I think there is an on-air comment question that we're going to do quickly. Let's touch base on that. Hubert, hello, sir. Says, stigma silences conversation. Good evening, guys.
Good evening, guys.
To you as well. Mental health, one of my favorite topics. Lovely having Dr. Ray join us here on Mahala Monday. My thinking cap is on for this one. I'm glad, because that is where we're going to be venturing into. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Hubert,
Mark,
for those comments. If you have questions, of course, definitely do pop them along. That is absolutely brilliant. But let's get into it, Doctor, because Mental Health Awareness Month, we're talking about it, why exploring it is so important, and expressing it, why it is important. And how do we even start thinking about keeping ourselves mentally healthy? Where do you start?
I mean, growing up in the Cape Flats, it's, as you said earlier, it's not something that we spoke about. Gaan drink jou malpille, those kind of conversations are very harmful to people who have no choice in having diseases. You didn't ask for diabetes, you didn't ask for hypertension, you didn't ask to be depressed. It happens to you, and it's an experience that deserves the same level of care as any one of those physical, manifestations and those conditions. So mental health, how I look at it, is a relationship with yourself, first and foremost. If you have a relationship with yourself, when you have a good relationship with people in your life, you speak kindly to them, you love them, you care for them, you trust them. That needs to happen inward. You need to care for yourself. You need to trust yourself. You need to advise yourself when things are not going well, when to seek help. And that's what mental health is. So for me, it's a relationship that you have with yourself. And once you are healed and once you are having a relationship with yourself and sorting that side of you, you can then impart to other people. You're not a danger to someone else's mental health or to their physical health, because you've taken the responsibility to actually find out, who am I? What is this magic inside of me that makes me go and makes me be someone for this world, someone who can help other people in this world, you know. And it starts with you. So that's in essence what I spend all my days talking about to patients. I have them come and sit in my rooms. They speak about loneliness. They speak about insecurity. They speak about anxiety as well. So having that conversation with yourself, speaking kindly to yourself, looking at the mirror and saying, yo, I look pretty. Yo, I look gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yo, I'm amazing. I've got all these talents and skills. That's the conversation you have to have with yourselves, because there's negative talk. You didn't do that well enough. Your boss is again on your case because you're again late. You know, those kind of negative talk, actually open that up. Why am I feeling so insecure in my job? Why am I feeling so powerless in the world? Everything's moving around me, but I can't seem to get somewhere. You know, what's wrong with me?
What, the way you put it there, having a relationship with yourself, I don't think I've ever, that really hits home. It's a wonderful way of putting it. And it makes so much sense. Yeah. But how does it start to just anybody? Because I also want to say, because when it came to mental health issues, whether it was depressed, I grew up, people used to say those are rich people problems.
Oh, yes. I've heard that a lot.
Yeah,
me too.
Yeah, you know, exactly like you said, balpiller. That was the ryk mens siekte. That was the term. How do we, because nobody asked to be depressed. Nobody asked to be anxious about something or scared or whatever. But what happens for us to get, that these emotions get the better of us?
I think it's the conversations that we don't hear when we're growing up. So when we are faced with feeling lonely, we don't know how to name it. We don't know how to give it an identity. So
defining it.
Yes, defining it. There's something wrong with me. But, you know, we have, that's why I sit here. I have a practice that people can come to and come and find out. There's something off, but I don't know what it is. Go and have a conversation with your GP. That's why they're there. That's why we are here in our communities, is so that you can go and have that relationship. And you don't have to know what's going on. You don't have to know and have all the answers. That's not the point. The point is for you to go open up that conversation. Have that session with a psychologist. And it doesn't need to be when you are stuck or struggling. It can also be when you're changing life. Going from being a working adult into retirement. What does that look like? Now you become so moody and upset and aggressive, and your family doesn't know what's going on with you, but it's because nobody sat with you and talked to you about what is your life going to look like as a retiree? Yeah. What is your life going to look like as a medical student? Or what is your life going to look like as a plumber? Or when you're going from high school into varsity or into the working world? We don't have those conversations. Exactly. We just expect young people must know what's up. And even we expect that of adults as well. It's like, you must know how to figure this out by yourself. It's a fallacy, it's a lie. You don't have to do that. What's important is having community, having people that support you, that see you, don't want you to change unless there's things that should be changed. And we can work at that together. But having that community is how you develop your mental health and your relationship with yourself.
I want to ask you this, but we got an on-air comment quickly, which we want to just throw into you. Hubert Houset says, stigma creates isolation. It tells people to hide their pain, to pretend, to stay silent. From a clinical perspective, how does silence of the fear of judgment affect someone's mental health?
Very good question.
It is a fantastic question, because also that kind of steers us to where I wanted to go in terms of bringing the queer element into this. Yeah. But if you could answer Hubert's question.
So essentially it puts a wall between you and anyone you're trying to access help from, or whether it be a cashier or whether it be your doctor. If you have that stigma of someone's going to put my life in danger or someone's going to hurt me, I'm not going to open up to them completely to say this is actually what's going on. And that stigma, if we have spaces where we can have people come in and feel welcome and feel safe, that already lowers the wall so that that person can finally get the help that they so badly need.
Sorry, and I know you're going to jump into the question that you added, and I just wanted to find out, but wanted to make a statement, because, and I'll be very honest with you, straightforward, I think that was stuff people never thought of, because for me it's always been a case, I don't feel well, I must go see the doctor.
Yes.
I've knocked my toe, I need to go see the doctor. I need to, something happened as physically or never mentally. It's never been a mental issue on your health. It's always just been what's happening with the body. Yeah. So are you finding that is definitely shifting more? And for me, everybody watching this now, the fact that you're saying you can actually go to your doctor and tell you're sitting with a mental issue.
Yes.
Is that becoming more and more?
I think so, as you mentioned, the question or the topic of mental health is coming up, especially the Gen Zs and the younger kids that are coming through. They are aware of their mental health.
It's part of the schoolwork now in terms of life orientation.
Yes,
That pops up in the subject. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So it is important, and people are starting to know and realize that. I have a lot of people who work in very tough industries where, night shift workers or day shift workers, and they suffer with their mental health because you're just supposed to be a machine.
Yeah.
And you don't, once you're in that rat race for so long, you forget that you're actually a human being, that you actually need to have things in your life that you enjoy and things that you life and support system in your life.
Yeah.
You should drink water. You can't put Oros in the petrol tank of a Ferrari and expect that Ferrari must drive. Feed yourself. Drink enough water, get enough sleep. These things have been there since the dawn of time. But we forget it because productivity matters. My boss is going to breathe down my neck. I have to sort out the kids and get to work. School holidays. There's no time to actually figure out, I matter actually. In order to keep this ship going, mommy needs to be okay. Daddy needs to be okay.
Within the general setup, you almost need better teamwork. Within a household, like the kids need to sort of realize, I suppose, listen, we can't just have everything on the parents, and the parents also need to, we're going to be a little more lenient with the kids. You're going to sit in the traffic 2 hours going here and there. That's already frustrating. Nobody's sitting in the traffic like, oh, I'm looking forward to sitting in. There's nobody that does that. So because it's 2 hours in the traffic, which means it's 2 hours less sleep because you have to get up 2 hours earlier. It's going to bed 2 hours earlier.
Yeah.
Everything is like that. So there needs to be, I almost find that there needs to be a better synchronization happening between personal and workspace. And maybe it was a COVID thing as well, where we were a lot more open to people working from home once or twice. The strangest thing happened, the productivity to people at home was there compared to the office that was like, we're just getting 10 things done. All of a sudden you work at home now, you're doing 40 things. How's this even possible?
So true.
The hybrid working situation where you're working at home and you're coming into the office for meetings and you're going back home and being productive, because now you can actually sort out the kids. You can give them lunch, you can iron the school clothes, and you can do some physical healthcare where you gymming or doing push-ups in the morning or going for a run, or those kind of things are accessible because you're not having that travel time, which is what we've struggled with in Cape Town, the commute to work. I mean, we've got enough problems in this country, let's say that. But like our transport system is keeping us back, and this is then a knock-off effect on people and their households.
So the point of this is, so what you said earlier about having that conversation with yourself, that is also a conversation that needs to happen, I would say, within a household.
Definitely.
Mother and father should have that, assumingly, and I'm assuming this, that the dad would know exactly how the mom's day goes and vice versa. Likewise with the kids. So everybody has their part to play. You know what I mean? Because as soon as you have that, then I would think that would also keep it sort of stronger, because life is life. You're going to have to meet your deadlines. If you're a business leader, yes, you are responsible for those people's monthly income, which by virtue they're responsible for their household. But I'm getting off point. The other thing I wanted to
add
ask,
to that, something I say a lot to patients, which sometimes I get a bit flack for, but it's deal with reality on reality's terms. You have to deal with what you've been given. The card you've been given in life, it's different for everybody. We're all in the same sea. It's terrible. We're all in different boats. Your boat's looking different to my boat. But I need to deal with the reality of my situation on reality's terms.
Wow.
I want to ask you something which is completely now a little, maybe not completely off topic, but I think it might be. I know personally of every second child that I know. And I know a lot of families with a lot of children. Every child has got ADHD now. Or most kids. Is that because of the world we're living in? Because if every second kid has it now, did it mean in my time when I was a child, in every child, but it was just undiagnosed?
So, good question, because I think
the kind of falls under the mental health.
Yes, I think the awareness about it is more. So if you're looking for something more, you're going to find it more. So it was there, but the child's naughty. or the child's
it was
rude,
use something
or the child's
else.
disruptive.
Thank you.
Instead of now people know, there's ADHD, there's a lot of other mental issues like autism, spectrum disorder,
Exactly.
which a lot of parents should be assessing their children for. A lot of schools should be having psychologists to assess kids that are coming through there. And this is why I love our teachers in our country. They really are in a position to pick up these kids and these cases and then communicate it to the parents. Your child does this or that or the other. Don't you think it's time that maybe you get an assessment? Your child's not talking at 4 years old. Maybe it's time to get an assessment, you know. We have these safeguards, but I think parents of today...
The trick is,
It's
as a parent,
difficult.
the parent won't see it.
Yeah.
Because
They're not with the child all day.
yeah, but not only that, you prescribe that to that person's personality.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So
it's manetsu.
Yeah, you're not going to pick up ADHD.
Yeah.
Well, you know, you might, but a lot will slip through the cracks, I think.
Yeah, just listening to you, and I'm thinking, I think personally, there's a lot of elderly, we're talking about the baby boomers, Generation X as well, that actually had that and was just never diagnosed.
Sure.
So if I look back at a lot of people that I know now, then now it's more, like you said, every second person has it. It was there. It was one of those things that just was never discussed. So that child, like you said, was that child's naughty. You know what I'm saying?
They
That child
still
is
were pushed
rude.
through mainstream schooling.
Yeah,
Exactly, they were still pushed with that, having to navigate this world, obviously.
Yes.
And I think this is where changes has come, where I think parents that actually had it and was never diagnosed are a bit more sensitive to knowing, look at my kid actually, if a parent, I think for me personally, if they come to me and tell me, and I'm like, geez, but that sounded like me back in the day. You start kind of realizing that this has been an issue. It's been coming on for a very long time. It's just now we are more socially aware of it and we're talking about it. Thank you, Lord, for that.
True. And that's progress, and that's what
That's
we want to see.
progress,
We don't. Everything's
exactly.
not perfect, and it won't be perfect all the time. But progress is something that it's just step by step, little by little, we can get to a space where, as I said, it's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be better than it was yesterday.
Exactly.
But the takeaway from all of this is have a much better relationship with yourself. Talk
with
to
yourself.
whoever is trustworthy within your little space.
Circles.
And I
Even in
think
your circle,
just the mere fact that we are aware of it, you know,
Exactly.
that is it. Because I know when I'm tired or you know, it doesn't really fall into I don't really go depressed or whatever, you know, but just because maybe bad news or that sort of thing. But,
Exactly.
when you're tired, you're tired. And also working in entertainment, it's a hard thing because you got to change all the time. So you really got to shift.
That's what comes with having a relationship with yourself, is to be able to be aware of that and say, I'm tired, so I'm going to give myself a little bit of grace today. I'm actually going to give myself a bit of a blessing. And if I can take the opportunity to take a break.
Exactly.
When last did I take leave? You know, those kind of things is what you can do for yourself when you are aware that this is what's going on with me right now.
Can I jump onto the next question?
Yeah,
and I think we're going that way now.
I want to get into
we do. We've got the on-air comment
All right,
there.
let's
Let's
read
first
this
go
quickly.
there because let's give our people out there
Hubert
time.
says, how can friends or family differentiate between normal stress and sign of serious mental health challenges?
Wow.
Fantastic question.
Wow.
Doc, how can they differentiate?
Have a conversation.
Oh, wow. If they pick
So
up,
if I suspiciously spot something that alarms me, I'm going to say, hey, what up?
Can we go for coffee? Let's go chat about it. I see you not been looking to,
exactly.
like yourself. Let's have a conversation about that. What's going on? Just being there you don't have to.
You know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say you bus.
True. I mean, that's a point of like finding your community and finding people that you can trust. I'm not saying you have to trust everybody, but find that person, that friend that always stood by you. Yes, you haven't spoken in 20 years, but what does that matter? That's still someone that knows your heart and has your best interest at heart. So it's true, you have to, as you learn, and sometimes you're not going to make the right decisions, you're not going to trust the right people.
Exactly.
Doesn't mean you must stop trusting, it just means you must be a bit more aware.
And also, if you're asking the question, it's really one of those things you err on the side of caution here.
Yeah. It's somebody that knows
I hope
you.
that answers your question, Hubert.
And I think Hubert as well, it comes down to if you know that person and you immediately see something is off or something's not right, and I think it's very important then to actually do step in and ask that questions. And for the fact that somebody might say, "Oh, you bus," maybe they're just scared to even then express themselves because they're scared of being judged. You know what I'm saying?
And accept no as an answer.
Yeah, true as well.
No is also an
Back
answer. If
off.
someone says not now or no, give them the time and space. You can still ask next week. You can come back to it. If
As long
you
as
care
you-
for them, sometimes you have to walk a road with someone and they
So
might
true.
not be open to sharing those parts of themselves that they really are insecure about or that they've been struggling with. But if you show up for them, you'll then open up the opportunity for them to trust you. And
So
I think
true.
that's something that we shouldn't also forget is allow people to give no as an answer. Can I come over? No. You can't come over right now. Just having that leeway as well, to
Exactly.
giving people that respect to be themselves autonomously as they are,
Exactly.
even though you want to help. And even though you know
Yeah.
they need the help, sometimes they're not ready for it. So stand with your
So
people.
true.
Be there with them.
Shoo.
Yeah, we got to move on and just shift it slightly because in the intro we spoke about queer health as well.
I was going to also ask
And
that one now.
I want to pose this to you: the challenges that are faced by queer individuals with regards to accessing healthcare. Now, some of us can assume these answers, and especially in the light of the current geopolitical climate. Certain African countries are making it a corporal punishment now.
Yes.
Death
penalty.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my word, how backwards can
we
you
hear
be?
we hear certain stories from certain sides of communities in South Africa where it becomes and obviously this is not good for anybody's mental health state. Firstly, what are some of these challenges faced?
Well, I think, as a queer person, our constitution does allow us to be in this country and be safe. We fought for the same rights the same constitution that we have right now. Gay people, queer people, lesbians, bisexuals, transgender people, they were there in those marches. They got us to where we are now.
Yeah.
The problem is, in the communities out there, we're still oppressed by decades and hundreds of years of oppression where, we were told to hide, or that's not normal, so that's not to be encouraged. The problem is we can't choose,
Exactly.
I've been around straight people my whole life. There's no way I can choose to be a straight person. It's just not in my DNA. It's not in my being.
Exactly.
And when it comes to accessing healthcare, we face a lot of stigma, but not only that, we face danger. Our lives get taken, we get assassinated, we get beaten up, thrown in trunks of cars and burnt just for being different, just for being queer. So now this person, this queer person, this queer child sees that, and how do they access healthcare?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm speaking now from experience as well, my daughter as well. I think the biggest challenge was, like we would call it, coming out.
Yes.
And I think that's the biggest fear of any kid that actually faces that, to actually approach their parents and say, look here, I don't necessarily like guys, I'm into women. So that also, that fear of the parents. The challenges there obviously also then is the church. It's the family, it's the grandparents. It just gets so big.
lot of-
And the shame that the parents then
shame.
want that feel because now my child isn't normal.
Supposed to in their head is not normal. So that's obviously a lot. You find a lot of, and I think it happens a lot more in their teen lives where they kind of come to terms, look, I'm that way inclined.
Yes.
And it obviously becomes a bit of a difficult challenge at school level to come. Do you find some kids coming to you and actually sitting with their challenges as well?
Yes, I find kids coming in. I also bring the parents in as well.
Oh, wow.
So first talk to the kid, especially if they're of age. Obviously, if they have a guardian and they want to explore that together. Some families are very supportive and some families come in and say, we have the situation that we're not equipped for. Nobody ever equipped us for.
Exactly.
But we want to stand by our child because this, first and foremost, we created a human being.
Exactly.
Before we created a girl or a boy or a brown person or a white person, we created a human being.
Exactly.
When you cut me, I bleed red.
Thank you.
You bleed red as well, you bleed red as well. In South Africa, we bleed green for the woman.
Yes.
But also, across the world as human beings, we are all the same on the inside. We're made of the same stuff. And at the end of the day, that's the world I want to live in, and that's the world that I stand for, is to see people, before you see their status, their color, their age, their faith, their gender, their sexual orientation, see that person as a human being. Start
Exactly.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That leads me to does it intersect mental health in terms of queer healthcare? Is there intersection?
Very much so. I think mental health is across the board. I particularly like talking about mental health in the queer setting because a lot of queer people suffer with that rejection. I also find that, I mean, I may be wrong, but I find that queer people have spent a lot of time inside their heads because they couldn't speak to anyone. So queer people digest everything about being a human being and what makes them different. And they do that for years and years and years on end before they feel like they can talk to anybody about it. The family will see, jy roep met hakke aan en jy wil ook lipstick aansit and the family will see those things, but they won't actually stop and take a second to say, hey, what is this new thing that you're experiencing? What is this new, we haven't seen it before. Let me learn about you, my child. True. Let me get to know you.
Exactly.
And as queer people, I think a lot of us spend time in our heads so that by the time we get to adults, we've spent a lot of time having that relationship with ourselves, becoming sure and secure in who we are. I find a lot of the heteronormative world hasn't spent a lot of time reflecting on who they are because I'm a boy, so I use the boys' toilet, I wear blue, I play soccer, I'm a girl, I wear jewelry, I get high heels, that's, it's easy, you don't have to think about that. As a transgender person who's now in the body that doesn't align with what they were assigned as birth, now for years and on end, they are forced to play a role, to live in a world where they need to be other than what they feel inside of themselves. Whereas heteronormative people, they don't really have that. Yes, they have other challenges. It's also insecurity. It's also about acne, and it's also about, am I going to get the girl? And all of those same things.
Exactly.
But they don't have to have that identity crisis with themselves, which is why a lot of queer people that come and see me, we have that conversation. And I get the conversation started, but I'm not a professional psychologist. So let's get you to someone to unpack that and see where's that going to lead you?
Exactly.
Exploring who you are, because that you don't have to, at a specific age, figure out that this is where I want to be or this is who I am. You are constantly evolving as a human being. That's one thing that's constant in this life is change.
Yeah.
You're constantly going to change throughout your life. But we need to have a platform to allow our kids to learn who they are and allow them to change through their lives. And then celebrate them.
Exactly. One of the questions, because obviously a lot of people know that my daughter is a lesbian, and the one question they always ask is like, how do you deal with this? Obviously when your kid comes out and things like that, you as a parent, it's challenging to you as well. So my thing is always, up until today, I mean, I celebrate my baby girl, and my thing to those parents are always when they ask me, like, how do you deal with this? I said, let's get one thing straight. I'd rather have a daughter than somebody committed suicide because of the fact that you never listen.
Yeah.
So what is more important? Having your child the way they are and accept them for they are, or actually have a kid that commits suicide. And that's the reality you're sitting with. So
it's not easy to parents. I feel on their side, it's having an expectation for this person you brought into the world, and like, I want my child to be this, and I want my child to be that, and they must go study here, they must go to that high school, and all of these things, all these plans and these grand plans, it's sort of like an extension of you. So you want to make sure that you see yourself in this person growing up.
So true.
But it's the other way around. When you bring life into the world, it's an opportunity for you to learn what is this person that I've brought into the world? What kind of magic, joy, skills, talents are they going to bring to my life as I age and as as I grow up? So it's sort of looking at the other way around. I get what parents are going through in terms of you are not the child that I thought I was going to be raising, in a sense, because now I can't buy you a dress for your matric ball. I must buy you pants and the blazer. Those small things, but it sits with parents, and you need to start seeing it as the other way around. You brought life into this world. It's from you, but you've been blessed by that life. Figure out how to give that person the opportunity to grow up the way they want to grow up, because the world belongs to them. You are here now, but they are what's going to come after us. And all you can do is really love your child.
Definitely.
Unconditionally.
And this is exactly the thing. It's the word unconditionally. It means there's no condition.
There's no condition. Exactly.
Exactly. Unconditionally is exactly. It's all the flaws, man. It's like all the warts and all. We got a comment here. Let's quickly check it out. Another audio comment. If you got anything that you want to say, then please. Hello, Nicole, who says, Dr. Meas, have you faced discrimination in your medical career because of your gender identity or sexual orientation?
No.
Thank you for the question. You haven't?
Yeah. No, I haven't.
Wow.
And I'm surprised by that because, starting...
Let me add to that, to the question from Nicole. Other colleagues of yours or, also healthcare professionals, like-minded maybe, have they, or to the best of your knowledge, does that happen?
Not me specifically, but there's a section of the medical fraternity that has been attacking transgender healthcare. So they are going the legal route to try and silence professionals who have, given a lot of their time, their lives, and done research into how to safely allow trans people to live as who they want to live as. So there's a side of the medical fraternity that is looking to sort of jump on Trump's bandwagon and sow division in the world where in that sense, yes. But for me specifically, personally, when I started my medical practice, marketing myself as a GP first and foremost, but then making the decision, should I say that I'm a queer medical doctor? Should I put that out there on social media? Should I have a rainbow flag in my office? Should I even be visible? That was a question that came up for me, and after talking to a lot of people, my chosen family, and decided the reason why I want to practice healthcare and to give of myself to my patients is so that I can be authentically me and allow those patients to then be authentically themselves.
Wow. Nicole, thank you very much for that question.
Thank you for the question.
It's a wonderful question. Ron Besaidlo says, would your online consultations be a good place to discuss queer health or mental health for someone who is not, let's say, out of the closet or maybe not comfortable approaching somebody within their circle? The virtual consultation will be a great space.
The nice thing about virtual consultations is it happens in your own space, in your own home. So it is a good place for people to make contact with a medical professional and say, I'm struggling with these things. My parents don't know, my siblings don't know, people at my church, they don't know, my school friends don't know, because I'm so scared that, I'm scared of what's going to happen. Once the cat's out of the bag, you can't put that cat back in. I'm sorry, once you tell people you're queer, try going back from that. It's impossible, and a lot of people, notoriously throughout history have faced, being kicked out of their homes.
So true.
And it's a space where I think you had the Pride Shelter on your segment a while ago, and the Pride Shelter, I work closely with them as well. Wow. So when Trump cut the aid to Wits RHI Clinic as well as the Ivan Thomas Clinic in Cape Town, a lot of the Pride Shelter residents were getting their healthcare there. So now suddenly there's your records, goodbye, because nobody's working there anymore. They cut all funding, so staff, patients, security, nurses, doctors, everybody was let go and told, you don't have a job anymore overnight. So having that, having that opportunity to allow a space and a time for patients to come and seek healthcare and actually get not fear going to community centers, because now that's what you have to do. Yesterday I could go get my medication, tomorrow I must find a clinic. So I must go to Delft Clinic, I must go to Nova Park, I must go to Mitchell's Plain, where I don't know what I'm going to get there. Exactly. I assigned male at birth, but I present as a woman, and it's dangerous in these communities, and not just in Cape Town, but all over the country as well.
Everywhere.
Thank you for that question, Robin. Hubert says mental health can be especially challenging for queer youth facing discrimination. What are some practical ways that they can build resilience and take care of themselves?
Wow.
I think you touched on it earlier, but what would be a way to do that? Community.
I definitely think everybody has a community, and queer people also deserve the right to have a community, to have spaces where they can come together. We have mosques, we have churches, we have bars where people can go out and meet people, and queer spaces need to be offered to our cities, to our towns, where people can feel safe and go to those spaces. So there's a lot of great organizations doing that. There's a Cape Town ballroom community which has events every couple of months, and it's a chance for the queer youth to come together and find out that, hey, I'm not alone. There's actually someone who looks like me, talks like me, and is as interested in living a healthy life with me in these spaces. So the way in which I feel queer people can come out of the closet safely, if we can put it that way, is to find your community. These days, in the past, you didn't have social media.
No.
So where were you going to find that? These days, the social media is open to everyone.
Easy.
TikTok, we've got Instagram, we've got all these different platforms where you can actually go and find out where are these events that are happening. And the unique thing about the ballroom space is that it's safety first. Safety for all people, whether you're queer or an ally, you're also welcome, but treat everyone with respect. If you want to touch someone, ask for consent.
Exactly.
Can I touch you? Can I hug you? Can I have a conversation with you? And allow people to say no. If someone says no, respect their boundaries. That's what it's all about.
So true, so true.
I like you touch on ballroom because we are going to touch on that. But I want to ask you this in terms of making strides in to better cater. So we don't, because I almost find that it's difficult for me that we almost talk queer health because of my mind. Health is health. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's almost difficult for me that we actually have a term, but are we making strides, even if it's minuscule?
Yes, we are. So there's practitioners like myself. There's a Desmond Tutu Foundation that set up a trans healthcare clinic at Groote Schuur Hospital. So queer healthcare, in a sense, it's a lot to do with. So there's gender affirming healthcare, which is where transgender people and gender non-conforming people access medications to keep them healthy, whether it's mental health and physical health. And then healthcare is for everyone. But there's a unique aspect of being a queer person that a general doctor in Ashton won't know how to actually provide that healthcare. Why? Because they've never been taught it. We don't get taught this in medical school. I hope we do nowadays because I need help. I can't do it alone. So I hope that we are getting taught about these things. But there's doctors and professionals that don't know what the unique needs are for queer people. So you have a assigned female at birth who's a trans man, and they need to have a pap smear. Now the receptionist, what are you doing here for a pap smear? You must a man.
Exactly.
That kind of language that we use and that kind of experiences that queer people have. That's why queer healthcare is a thing. Yeah. It's because I and you face a specific experience that heteronormative and straight people don't experience when they go to a doctor. It's those kind of things that we really need to be aware of, and that's why I chose to practice in
Let me ask you this, in terms of your practice, to the best of your knowledge, are there other practices that you might know of that are known as queer healthcare safe space, if I can call it that?
If you do a Google search, I think myself and Dr. Anastasia Thompson, who's a trans woman, she has a practice in Cape Town. I think we're the only two that come up in the whole of Cape Town. And notoriously, Cape Town has been the sort of gay capital of South Africa, if I can put it that way. So it's so striking that only two.
Oh, wow.
That I know of. So if there are other doctors, that really want to go into gender affirming care and also provide healthcare spaces to queer people, you can definitely do it. There's nothing stopping you. The HIV Clinician Society has a course that you can do to learn how to offer gender affirming healthcare. Oh, wow. So these things are out there and accessible. It only takes the practitioner wanting to actually do it. To make it possible.
Well, then, listen, we've taken a lot of your time, and I know we've overshot. I actually told you how long the show will be, and I'm sorry to say that I lied because I've doubled the time. But outside of being, if we just move away quickly for a brief second, if we move away from mental health and everything, really, outside of being a medical practitioner, okay, this is, you play a significant role within the Cape Town ballroom fraternity because you are house father.
Yes, so it's not ballroom like tango and salsa and cha-cha and all of that.
Not dancing.
Not dancing
it is an element of dancing. So I think the first sort of connection to Vogue or to ballroom that people would recognize is Vogue dancing. So I remember in the 90s, Madonna released that song Vogue. Exactly. So that's a dance style that is part of ballroom. Ballroom started about 1970s. So Mother LaBeija. Crystal LaBeija started Ballroom. Her house, the House of LaBeija, was the first house ever created in Harlem, New York City. So she created a space for women of color and trans women of color where they could come together, a safe space where they could meet each other and be safe from the world, because there was, you know, hate crimes, all of these things that are still going on today that happened back then. So they sort of created a community, a space where you could come, and you couldn't get onto a runway because you were not, you know, assigned woman at birth, but you can come and bring your glamour, bring your talent, bring your creativity to the ballroom floor, and then you could win trophies for that, and you could win prize money, and you can make a living from that, actually. So this has started in the 70s and then moved over all across the world. I'm house father of the House of LaBeija, the South African chapter. So our main house is in New York. And then we have members all over the world. So also in Europe, and then also in Australia, and then in the South Americas as well. So yeah, ballroom it used to be sort of an underground space, and I think that's a lot where it came out of, because we had to hide. Queer people, police would come to the balls and arrest queer people who were there because the man was dressing like a woman, or a woman was dressing like a man. So it really was born out of this underground, we need a space for ourselves, and that's what Mother Crystal LaBeija started with. Ballroom. So there are different categories. You get a runway where you have to present yourself, and it's presenting everything who you are. So as a queer person, we are often told to hide. The hand mustn't do that. You must, you know, that's something that has been told to us as queer people. Or you can see she's queer because, or you can see he's queer because that's how he walks or that's how he talks. So all those things that we have to adjust and modulate as we grow up as teenagers. Ballroom has said, bring all of that. Bring all of it. Everything. The hand does that, the hand does that. Put the other hand also with it. You know, so that was where ballroom and Vogue came from. So that's the inspiration behind of that. And that's what I do, other than being a medical practitioner, is I have...
that's the fun time.
Yeah, I do I attend ballroom spaces, and we throw events as well. So we allow people to come and find safety in numbers, people who look like you, who speak like you, who are as queer as you are.
How do people access these events? Do you advertise it?
So mostly on Instagram. So there's a couple of houses that have established in Cape Town. I won't go too into the intricacies of ballroom, but there's basically main house and main scene and Kiki scene. So Kiki scene is where people learn and the youth come and learn how to do what we do. Main scene is where you do the prize money and the trophies.
Like competition.
And yes, exactly. So you have sort of those scenes, and we have a couple of houses. So in Cape Town specifically, we partner with Edition Events a lot of the time. So Instagram, you can check them out, Edition Events, and they basically help us produce a lot of the balls. So there's House of Le Cap, House of LaBeija, House of Eclipse, that's a Kiki house, House of Flum, that's a Kiki house as well. There's House of Vineyard, that's another mainstream house. So there's a lot that goes into this thing that we dedicate our time to, and it's all for the sake of safe spaces. Safe spaces and community, and then come win some money. And come show off your outfit.
So if people had to go to your website, or they follow you on Instagram or Twitter, they will find out about these places.
Yes, so you can find me on Instagram at hey_it's_Meas. So that's where you can find my content. You see some of my medical practice things. You'll see some of my house things as well. And then my general life, I suppose, as well. That was the other thing. It's like, do I now put my profile on private?
I was going to say.
Yeah. And I still have questions about that, because a lot of ballroom is a safe space, but also a safe space to celebrate sexuality. So we have a category called Sex Siren. So usually when that category is on, everybody puts their phones away. Nobody's allowed to record. And people go on stage and basically exhibit, or they show off sexuality and sensuality on stage that's held by a group of people, but and so nobody's having sex on stage, but people are exploring the bodies that they were given, the talents that were given, and then because of that category, they get to then explore themselves on the runway, win a trophy, and so there's a lot of those things as well. And I'm like, should other people be seeing this? People who know me as Ray the doctor, should they be seeing?
Exactly.
And I thought, actually, I'm a fully fledged person. I am all these things. I'm the doctor. I'm the brother. I'm father of the House of LaBeija. I'm gymnast, former gymnast as well.
Because you used to do that, right?
Yes, I did that for about a decade of my life, traveling the world with gymnastics. So I'm all of these things. And if
When's the
people
last time you did a bola
And a
makisi?
psychologist.
I did a bola makisi last night, actually. Or 2 nights ago, yeah. On stage. It was fun. Yeah, I don't know if we have that clip, but that's amazing.
Is that the clip there?
Yeah, that's the clip.
Is that you?
That's me on stage.
Look at
Is that you there in the front?
Yep.
Sorry, Dougal.
Whoa,
That is not even a Bommelakisi.
We're going to play that again.
That is Bommelakisi on steroids. Wow.
Yeah, we're gonna watch that again.
You're gonna watch it again?
Yeah, we're gonna see that again. So just the
Check in
one
white
who's getting up,
outfit.
that's you
Yes.
in the front.
Look at that.
Oh,
So that was at Rock in the Daisies, which is a
Rock in the
music
Daisies.
festival that was this weekend.
I was going to ask you about it because this past couple of days you were rocking the daisies.
Yes, we performed both nights. It was amazing. We were actually, we didn't know how to feel about it because it's the first time that ballroom has actually been given a stage at Rock in the Daisies.
wow.
And organized by Edition
Well
Events
done.
and Leah Deba, who organized that we could get into Rock in the Daisies and have a platform. Because Rock in the Daisies notoriously, well, from what we know, hasn't been very queer friendly in a sense. Most spaces are queer friendly, and Rock in the Daisies should be, but as a queer person, you don't know. That's the thing about these things. If I go to a music festival, I don't know if someone's going to look at me skiff and then want to attack me when they're on alcohol or they're on other substance, because we can't control these things. So going to Rock in the Daisies was an opportunity for us as the queer community to say, hello,
Yeah.
I'm also here.
Exactly.
I can also be here with all of you.
How was it received?
Oh, wow.
Very well. We didn't have to fear because the people who we were performing to and the people who were taking care of us backstage and the DJs and the festival essentially, they really made us feel welcome, and we're going to definitely go back. We're definitely going to go back.
I've played Rocking the Daisies a couple of times. It's a great festival. Man.
It
It's
is.
absolutely a wonderful space. It really is. So
Wow.
But it has been so listen,
my
once again,
word.
thank you so much for exceeding the time that I
And we're
did
taking
say.
up all your time. We're so sorry. I told you this from the word go.
Yeah.
No, but I said I was going to be that time. I was that time. The other time is up.
The proof is in the pudding. Go watch the show again and you'll see who it was.
I took the time that I said I was going to take. Right?
No, it's been really a blessing to speak to you about the lives that go on outside of our office buildings, outside of our churches, outside of our clinics. This is lives that we live as people, as South Africans, as the global human race. We go through these things, and these conversations are what brings us together and helps us find some link, that golden thread that runs through everybody. So I really appreciate the opportunity to come and have a chat with you.
I loved it.
The pleasure has all been ours.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much. Dr. Ray Meas, everybody.
Thank
you so much for being
Dr.
with us.
Ray, San Ray. Thank you very much. That is new name for me now. San Ray.
Yeah, what can I say? It is. It's really been an insightful conversation because a lot of the things the doctor touched on is things that I would have assumed I would have known, and I did. But there was the one thing, the first thing that he said, having that when it comes to mental health, you got to have a relationship with yourself. Now, when he sort of worded it that way, it actually made a lot more sense than what it is. So you got to have a relationship with yourself. You got to understand why you feel in a certain way. But the big takeout is whatever it is that conclusion leads you to, you are certainly not the only person on God's green earth where there's 8.2 billion people, give or take.
So true.
That is the only person that feels that way. There will always be lesser and more people that had it in a more extreme way or in a lesser way of yourself. You're not the only one. So finding that community, finding that is really the first step. And we're not just talking about sexual orientation here. We're talking about everything, whether you are depressed, whether you are anxious, whatever it is, that you definitely sort of harvest that way. So that is very important. And you can reach out to a healthcare professional like Dr. Ray. Will certainly have a good listen to you and also steer and guide you into a direction that ultimately can benefit you. If the doctor himself give you the proper advice. So that is the important thing. And I
So
think
true.
that's the wonderful thing. But we do have a comment
Yep,
or
there's a
question.
comment.
We still have the doctor with us in studio. And if it is one for you, we'll do it. It says, every time my friend Alfonso speaks, I have to ask myself, is this brilliance or just a very creative kind of chaos? What did Alfonso say?
So Alfonso is the director on the other side.
But
there
did he
that
say
Hubert is-
something?
Yeah, I don't know if he said, but apparently when they're together, that's
I think
his
he's talking
question.
about you. I know how Hubert speaks. Shame it.
Shame
I'm
for
going to
Hubert.
put him in touch
We
with
love
a good
you,
doctor.
Hubert.
Thank you, Hubert. But also thank you very much for all the questions and comments that we got.
Definitely.
Really insightful, though. And it's really fantastic. And it's because of those questions that we can all understand any sort of circumstance, but more importantly, a topic that we bring out to talk about, that we all get enlightened by it and we all kind of move together in a much more positive way, which is really what it's about. So many things that Dr. Meas mentioned this evening, but what you got to do, go check out his website.
Oh, yeah.
mydoctor.co.za, which is www.mydoctor.co.za. And it's my DR, not the word doctor, just my doctor.
DR.
Yeah, .co.za. Go check it out. You'll find him on Instagram, Twitter, X, that is, Facebook or whatever. I say Facebook, whatever, but you know what I mean. All those other bits.
Instagram, yeah.
Yeah. That is where you gotta go. And the ballroom thing looks fascinating.
It's fascinating.
13th of December.
13th of December.
Yes, in Woodstock
That's a
at the old
Saturday.
Biscuit Mill. You know where the old
Oh,
Biscuit Mill is?
yes.
Yes.
It's a Saturday.
It's a Saturday, 13th of December. The tickets are already out.
So there you go.
So, yes, search Cape Town Ballroom Scene. You can also look on, I think it's Quicket Edition Events. They sell the tickets for the ball. So, yeah, it's already it's October, November, December. Also, Ambada.
I was gonna
October,
say.
November, December. So,
2
December
months away, 2
13th.
months in a week.
Yeah, come and check out the ballroom scene, and yeah, please be respectful, and also come and find your place with us. Always it's about safety, and remember, it's a place that you get to be a part of if you're coming to attend. So just respect the performers, respect the community that you're coming to be a part of, and come and see that we're not so scary.
Definitely not. 13 December. There you go, guys.
There you
Get
go.
your tickets.
You gotta go get the tickets. As easy as that.
easy
Is
as
that
that.
it for us, Rhoda?
That's it for us.
The long
Dougal.
show, much
It was
longer than I thought. Apologies again to Dr. Agus. I said 30 minutes. I said that. I lied.
And I said
And
it
when
won't be happening.
and when I said 30 minutes, I knew I lied. But I was hopeful.
You were hopeful. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. Thank you, Dr. Ray.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. And that's it.
That is it. Thank you very much for joining us here on another wonderful edition of Mahala Monday. Without you, of course, the show is not possible. So keep those questions and comments coming. And once again, just do us the humongous honor of subscribing, of course, and you'll be alerted of all the shows, all the guests that are coming. And we look forward to your suggestions. Maybe there's a topic that you would like to have us delve into, and Rhoda and I will best delve into it. You know for certain we're going to give it more than 30 minutes. Other than that, to our guests, to the comments, thanks for watching. We will see you back very soon, same time, same place, in just about 7 days, the 13th, for the next edition of Mahala Monday. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye,
See you. Bye-bye. Bye, Dougal. Keep on. Enjoy the week.